spent my first 15 years trying to get out of the woods because I thought it was horrible. And I spent the next 20 years trying to get back. The truth of the matter is we need to be well-rounded individuals like our forefathers were.
Alrighty. There's my man, Mr. Matt King is in the house. Matt King, what's going on, brother? Glad you can meet. Hey, folks, T with Mountain Readiness. We are here once again live from Appalachia, the back 40. Joining me, of course, right over here in the cubicle next door. Was that cell block D? Whatever that is over there is the Triple G, the go-to gear guy, Mr.
G.
Brian.
Come on.
Cell block G. You're right. What's
going on, guys? How we doing tonight?
So, Robert Lynn, what's going on, Robert Lynn? Ain't talked to you in a bit, brother. Welcome to Mountain Readiness Mondays. Of course, hit the like, share, subscribe, ring bells, send me stars, whatever it is you'd like to bestow up on us. We need all the love we can get so that the algorithm gods lets us keep doing what we are doing, pushing out truth and light into a dark world right here, these two guys here. So I've been trying to get with Joe Flowers forever. And earlier today, I talked to Brian. I talked to you, and you reminded me that you can't just get a hold of Joe.
You can't.
There's a special thing that you have to do in order to summon Joe. Please explain how this worked out.
Okay, so Joe Flowers, last year, about a year ago, he came out with a brand new machete. As you all know, if you don't know, I'm going to educate you. So Joe is basically, he's the main man over at Condor Knife and Tool. And he designs like 90% of what they do. I love his designs. I love his blades. So he came up with a brand new machete about a year ago. Now, if you tap two machetes together anywhere in the world, Mr. Joe Flowers will appear. So let's see if we can get Mr. Joe Flowers to appear.
That's all you had to do.
I have a machete, I have a kukri. Close enough. I don't have two machetes. So here we go. 1, 2, 3.
And there he is.
Oh, wow,
there he is. He's like he's like a bushcraft genie.
I heard something even through the internet, you know. Hey, guys, I remember my other question, and I was like, I know I'm not asking the other important question. Was, is this live? And that answers it now.
And yes. Yeah. Absolutely, this is live, because live is where you get your viewing audience, Joe, because people like to watch you screw up. That's what this comes down to. They're like unedited, raw, cutting edge.
That's the truth.
Yeah, so I'm trying to like wedge my cell phone up to do a live Instagram while this is doing the live Facebook. Does that all work out ever that way?
Yeah, I don't know. Give it a shot. I've never tried it. I'm not the tech person here. I'm not that guy.
Showing, the front of the videos and all that too. There we go. I'll just do it for a little bit, just to see what happens.
It works for me. And there's Lex. What's going on, Lex? You even got Alexis on here. My girl Christy, Guy, Patrick 7. Love all you guys. I miss all you guys. I miss all you guys already. We, of course, we are waiting on the tomorrow D-Day to be over, and then we're going to later on this month announce, put out for ticket sales. Of course, Mountain Readiness Expo 3, May 2nd through the 4th, 2025. Come see us. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have all kind of cool people there. We've got Joe. You're going to be able to make it, aren't you?
Yeah, I believe so. 2025
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, that's the big one.
Yeah, 6 months. 6 months we got to plan. Joe will be there. We got TJ, Bear Independent will be there. We've got Tactical Rifleman. We've got NC Scout, Brush Beater. We've got a bunch of people that are going to be coming to this thing here. And it's going to be off the hook. It's going to be awesome. But so let's go around the room. Brian, what you been up to, man? You guys are getting ready for Georgia Bushcraft, which I'm going to miss again.
Yeah, I'm telling
gotta
you, man,
work.
you got to get out there. You got to get out. So my first time actually meeting T was was at an event. It was earlier this year. It was in March? I think we were in Kentucky.
Kentucky, Hinman.
Yeah, it was Hyman, whatever you want to, however you pronounce it. So you showed up after all the excitement, T. Our first day there. So we showed up and we were doing back-to-back shows. And Hinman was our first one. We got set up. Fortunately, we were indoors. You get about half the crowd outdoors, half the crowd indoors. So we were indoors. We got set up, and then Lex and I pitched our tent for the night, and a tornado touched down in the town right next to us, like literally right next to us. I mean, it was totally nuts.
It was rough.
We had this dome tent. It was kind of a brand new tent, and it went from here to like here in about 4 seconds. And we're actually dealing with the aftermath of that earlier today. So we snapped the pole, again, brand new tent, snapped some of the fiberglass poles.
Oh, man.
They're not really holding up. So we tried to do a little Gorilla Tape around it. It wasn't happening.
There is a manufacturer. If you send him the size of your poles, he'll send you inserts or a whole new set for almost any tent out there. He makes them custom. And he's still on the internet. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, dude, that's great.
Learning something new every day.
Yeah. Well, I'll get the info from you this weekend, Joe.
He's like the best tent guru ever that none of the tent companies know, because he fixes all the tents that are broken. And he's probably got his hands full with all this stuff that's been going on.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure.
So, and what about you, Joe? What have you been? Well, you've been just nonstop. You are a hard guy to get in touch with. Not all jokes aside of clanging machetes, but your plate is full all the time.
Yeah, well, there's a healthy balance with that. Sometimes I put the phone down and just stay away from it for a while. I try to, at least as much as any human can, and not be on social as much, and then all of a sudden have to blurt through again, or I'll stay away from the email disaster for as a day or two as much as I can, and then then come back to the wonderful world of the internet and all that stuff too. But like today, I did some knifey stuff, you guys. Some knife related stuff. I got to go check out Blue Ridge Knives, which is a distributor where a lot of people in the world. Yeah, it's where a lot of people get their stuff from, and I learned a little bit more about knife distribution and stuff, and they're actually really close to me. So it was just crazy that I haven't been over there yet. But I went through, the Virginia mountains to go through there. And all I did was follow the aftermath of the storm the entire time, just seeing all these broken trees. And I still, today had to dodge a lot of the workers that were out there on the road. Not dodge them, but
right.
go around them. And the amazingness, as you can see, where the tornado and the microbursts touched down and broke, just sheared off, half of those pines that are out there. And you just see that in little certain areas where there's a lot of wood out there, and it's really, really crazy to see that. And then all of the trash on both sides of the New River was still just out there and raw. It really just shows you how amazing it was, what we all went through, in these areas where we were at.
Oh yeah, beat to pieces. Ashe County, we've been working over there quite a bit, and it's Asheville, of course, gets a lot of the publicity, where Ashe not so much. But they got hit really hard in that area, all through those areas. I saw the tornado that was bouncing around in was it Blowing Rock? Yeah, Blowing Rock that was bouncing around on top of the mountains. So now you've been going around doing some work too as well. I've seen.
Yeah, but for me, it's more local because we're in a very small area. where we're right on the river. Not me
Right.
like right on there, but like maybe 10-minute drive, if that. So we have a lot of like local people who we've helped out, and the biggest thing is just trash. It's been trash cleanup, honestly. It's just been a lot of trash cleanup, because these RVs and stuff where I was at, it's kind of like an epicenter where they have RVs on both sides for the first part near the bridge. And those things just explode when they got hit by the flood. And I'm not laughing at it, but there are just pieces everywhere. And then, our family lodge, which my family, my wife's side of the family's had in their lives forever, it was rebuilt in 1948. And for the first time, it had like 6 inches of water on the floor. And it's really high up. So it was just like, that's right in our area. But in the meantime, there's been a lot of guys, a lot of people in our community that you guys know personally that have been making runs, all over the place.
Yes. And we actually, I didn't know this until about a year and a half ago when we started talking, that we're almost neighbors. We're like, you're just right up the hill back behind me.
Yeah, exactly. But then you can see like the change and all that. It's like a different world when you get up away from the river and get like closer to the gas stations and stuff. It's like nothing happened. But then you go into these little zones that are just like, wow, it's apocalyptic almost.
So how far apart are you guys?
About 30 minutes, 30, 45 minutes.
That's it.
Yeah, you just go up the hill going towards Sparta from my house, and there's Joe.
You guys are definitely neighbors. Very close.
Yeah, there's a lot of trees and stuff probably between us and all that.
Yes.
Like I'm sure if you look at our houses on the map, there's just seas of green around it, because it's not like as residential. It's a more rural based area. Up in our area, we have, because of our elevation, we have a bunch of Christmas trees in the area and cows and stuff. And so that kind of in the mountain areas. But then you actually see that, in the Wilkesboro and all those areas too. A lot of cow culture.
So Joe, you're at a higher elevation than T is?
Yes.
So. I'm right at about 3,000 feet.
We're I think we're 2,800, but it's on the back side of our house. So the back of our property is close to where you guys are at. But you just up the hill and back over the top.
Cheating. If I say 3,000 feet, like my house is actually at like 2,800, and then you can walk up a little bit. Like,
right.
I can hit that 300.
I get that 3,000.
Okay, so guys, I have to ask, because T, you and I have been talking about it over the last month with the hurricane. I know how bad it was at your place. Joe, what about you? How bad was it at your place?
Well, I'd say very bad, of course, on the river. Where the problem was, this knocked out power for like 5 or 6 days. And I have a generator at our house that's plugged into the wall and all that, or not plugged into the system, and all that. So we were pretty fine. It was crazy because, we didn't have the internet or the cellular function, which is something that happens in South America, where I go do the jungle trips all the time. But I was surprised to see nothing here. And that also, like a couple of the elderly neighbors, it kind of really made them worry. So they, contacted us right away to help them with stuff too. Right. And then by the third or fourth day, other people started renting generators on the street. But, I was providing water to a lot of the neighbors and all that, and like these big 25-gallon buckets that they could bring and use for, sanitation and whatnot. But it wasn't, bad for us, because we had that integrated Generac system, which I highly recommend. Except, dude, ours, man, I'm an okay mechanic. I work on like a Jeep, so you just need a hammer and stuff.
Hit stuff.
Yeah, and it kept like burning oil, and the guy came out right away and like checked it the next day, because he was in emergency mode tending to all the other generators, and we couldn't figure out why it kept burning. He's like, I got 2 other ones that have been doing that. And so I was like, okay, I just put Lucas in there, because that seems to fix everything. And it ran for 4 more days perfect and didn't burn any more oil up. I think it was just, it needed that. Needed that Lucas stuff before I start getting in there and reading.
It needed that super thick mechanic in a jar. That's all it needed. The mechanic in a can. Boom, hit it.
I mean, Lucas, you could sponsor us. I haven't had you not work yet,
Right. Hey, never miss a plug. That's what I'm saying.
It really, I always put it in my oil, like my old car. I had my old old Cherokee for like 16 years, and like every time I do that, I judiciously always put that 1 quart of that in there, and I never had any leaky oil problems, like ever.
Well, and that mechanic in a can, there is something to it.
Yeah,
they throw it in there like when you were trying to sell a lemon and you had blow by. They would you'd juice it up with the Lucas, and you could stop that blow by. Of course, when it started getting cold out, then the engine took forever to warm up, and it'd be knocking and pinging and all kinds of stuff. But as soon as once you get it warmed up, you're good.
Yeah, synthetic stuff seems to be better in my opinion, but I would say that like I felt it's been like colder way in the back, not like climate change or anything like that. I haven't had such colder winters up here where it's like, oh, I gotta go to my mountain house and warm up my vehicle and stuff like that yet. So
I hope it doesn't get to that point, because that's why we left Indiana. Living there for 20 years, I was like right on the Michigan line. I'm like, now 3 feet of snow, shovel out. 2 days later, another 3 feet of snow. I'm like, no, I'm going somewhere that we don't have this. And here we did get, 3 or 4 years ago, we got 2 foot of snow just overnight. Yeah. But it was gone in like 3 days. It was just gone, melted off. It was a little muddy, but I can deal with that.
It goes that fast.
Yeah, it does. It does, especially if you're like on the south. Yeah, was getting all ready to go hunting and didn't see something that morning because I really want to be able to track in snow because it's super easy, right? And
exactly,
I got anything on there, and then it was just a sloppy mess after that. And of course, that's when the deer started showing up, and
a lot of slush.
Yes, just slushy time. That's the perfect time. And
here's your one. So we got Robert Lynn here in the house. Yeah. Joe, what changes have you made in your readiness since the storm? How did you tweak things?
Excellent question. I actually have an appointment with Radio Made Easy to upgrade all my comms in all my cars. And, I've been putting on the back burner, the Baofeng communication system, but I just want to be able to tell my parents, I'm okay. And they're going to get radio certified as well, because they're in a different state. And my brother too. So, just the basic stuff to get us through there. It's been a hole in our game that we really haven't had for comms right now. And, that was really, really interesting. Another thing that I was looking at beforehand, which I really kind of like the idea of now, just for as much as I travel, or if we have to do point of sale systems or something at like a show or Mountain Readiness where you're selling something, is Starlink and having your own Starlink too. Because that was really cool. I was at Overlander right after the event too, right after the hurricane, like a week right after the hurricane. And it was really interesting to see stuff from the overlanding crowd and their inputs on stuff as well. So, mobile setup on my Jeep, which would be like super cool for camping and all that stuff, now has quite the usefulness going up to my neighbor's house. If they want to shower, if it has a portable shower on the Jeep, they can use it at their house real quick. And then I can drive over to my other neighbors and,
Oh no, that thing's amazing.
Portable shower service. I don't know.
Why not?
One of the things, because there were water needs there, and I saw the need for going. Holy cow! Some of this stuff just to help some of the elderly in my neighborhood worked. Really, really interesting too. And then the other thing is, while I don't want everybody on my front doorstep, if they know I got Starlink, I wouldn't mind, them coming over for like an hour and, saying, hey, to their kids and say, we're not having a problem like that.
Right. Well, and our buddies, Bear Independent, TJ and Grindstone Ministries, they actually packed in some of those Starlinks there in Asheville, back to the Chimney Rock area to help get the comms back up. And of course, Ethan, Radio Made Easy, those guys, they donated a bunch of comms and stuff to get everybody rolling in that too. Awesome people over there.
Yeah. So I just want his, time of all of this prep stuff to end before I go over there and we figure out what we're going to rig up.
Definitely.
Too. I'm also going to be joining the rescue squad locally, just because I might be able to help there a lot more. and I'm looking into it. I got to get my wilderness first responder recertified at some point here too. But
Right.
just knowing the rescue squad, because we have up in our community, we had a really tight knit group of people communicating, and they were hubs that had stuff figured out right away. Okay, go down Farmer Betty's place. They've got guys out there, and they had people on these really cool, the side by sides, reconning some of the areas and looking at all of that stuff too. So it looks like that could be something handy to where I don't have to always be on call, like on a fire brigade. And with my traveling nature, if I'm there, I'm there. But if I'm not, okay. I'll have another.
But you're the perfect guy for it too. I mean, you hang out in the Amazon a couple times a year. I mean, you got that kind of thing under control.
The water certification, that's the one I'm looking for, because you got a lot of stuff out in the jungle that kind of works all the way here.
Yes. I did 5 years, almost 5 years, volunteer department, Ossian, Indiana. And we did some swift water stuff. One of my favorite, however, was high angle rope rescue. That was a good one. Man, loved it. Stokes bastic tending, 100 feet up in the air, hanging upside down. And that was one of the best 40-hour classes that I ever did was high angle. And that was tech level, it was tech level rope rescue. So what a blast. Homestead Medical, Chuck, people's over at Homestead Medical in the house. He's over at Chimney and Bat Cave. You know Chuck?
Oh, yeah.
Cool. You guys all know everybody. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Great dude. It's with the medicals, it's kind of like trying to remember Bushcraft in the name of a company too.
Right.
So you go, oh, is that Frontier or Fire Medical or no? But
it's either Homestead, Bushcraft, or Survival.
Right.
I'll have so many.
Bushcraft Homesteaders, survival.com.
Chuck, get me hooked up. I'll do that in a second. Helicopter short haul, definitely hook me up. I don't know any helicopter people, so. There is that.
So guys, if you don't know what I do, I take people down to South America in the jungles of South America all the time. But the people I went to the jungle first with are crazy about doing helicopter rescues and high level stuff. And that would be Essie of Essie Knives.
Nice.
I went back in 2009 with them, and actually, still work with them every once in a while. I got my wilderness first responder certification through them a while back, and they were already gearing up for one of their high angle classes. And then Jeff Randall was like, Joe, we are going to have a helicopter flying here to do some quick takeoff stuff. If you want to dangle from the helicopter and spin around a bunch and be one of the people who's like injured, go for it.
Yeah, in the Stokes basket. Now, I think I'll pass. Yeah, I'll pass on that one. The spinning part, I can do without that. I'm good with climbing up and down, upside down, but the spinning thing, it seems like the older you get, the less spinning you want to do.
Yeah.
Put the words out of my mouth.
Sounds like you'd be a hilarious. I would thing, but
it doesn't work quite so well.
It'd just be a giant spiraling thing of throw up for me, probably.
Yes.
Too.
I can't do the amusement park things anymore. I just can't. It doesn't work. I got on my grandsons. I have 2 grandsons, and I was on the little merry-go-round with them. And I was after 5 minutes, I was just about to just toss my cookies right there from the merry-go-round. It was horrible. So I know that's not going to work. Speaking of all the, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, sorry. Yeah, I had to clear my throat anyway, so go for it.
No, I was going to say, well, we're going to jump into something else right here. So go ahead with what you were going to say, because we're going to delve into the past life of Joe Flowers.
Oh, well, no worries. The past life stuff is there. But, another subject he was asking about since the storm, another thing that's been really interesting is seeing people down or hearing about my friends down in South America during COVID and what they did in that small town. Because they're in a landlocked area of this area of Brazil, Peru, and Colombia. They all kind of come together, all 3 at this one spot called the Tri-Corners. And it's completely landlocked. So there's no way in via car it's only boat or plane. So like they can fluctuate with their resources very, very regularly. And it's kind of interesting to hear about that too.
Yes, for sure. Speaking of all this stuff, there are some things here. I did not even know about you, Joe. So I had to, go look through your past and read all about you because I knew you did the jungle and bushcraft and all this stuff.
Currently, I'm not pregnant, so
not pregnant yet. But with technology as it is, who knows? Who knows what could happen? He's a black belt. Did you know this, Brian? This guy is a black belt in karate.
No, I did not know that.
Joe Flowers.
No kidding.
He's basically like 007 to the bushcraft community. Jungle, karate.
I used to help out with MMA too, but I never competed in it. So I'd be the cutman for striking and help a bunch of people in the amateur
right
and stuff too. But
was still in yet. That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. How long have you been in martial arts?
Ooh, gosh. I'd say I think a good part of at least 30. I used to know this number right off the bat.
You're getting older.
9 years. Yeah. Now it's been a while. But I had a dojo up here in the mountains for about 10 years under the Wellness Center. And I taught a lot of kids and adults. Basically, the background is Shotokan karate. I had my roots in, but we were never like textbook, okay, you have to block like this. We did a lot of stuff and had everybody from silver glove boxers to Muay Thai guys come teach and had a big mixture of Mod Podge, how it is nowadays. And then I worked with a lot of people through Titans of the Cage for helping some guys with welterweight titles and things along that line too. Currently I'm doing boxing.
Nice
on and off, which is it's much better on my knees, which karate was not
100%.
And I was I was looking at my third surgery for my ACL, like
just on the knee, same knee
on the knee. The first one was snake hunting. The second time was doing karate stuff, and then I was looking at ACL surgery on my knee again. So they said you can either do your jungle stuff or you can do your martial arts. And sure enough, when I started cutting back, doing kicks in the air all the time and stuff, the knee problems tended to go away. And it's been a lot better since then too. So I still keep up with it, but I'm not trying to do the crazy flying scissor kicks and things like that.
I've noticed my kicks have went down. Like I try to keep it below the waist now, waist level and lower, instead of going up there to the face. No Van Damme helicopter kicks for me anymore. Not that I couldn't do one, but probably just one.
It's going to be one
thing I'm working now on that I felt like I've become more aware of is hip mobility, but just from like simple yoga stretching that I wish I did a lot more of when I was actually doing active karate, because I feel like I can do a lot of stuff different. I can't, do a question mark kick up in the air and expect my knee not to tell me no. But I feel like I could have a lot more flexion in my hips now, and it helps me a lot with mobility, big time.
Flexibility, the key.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Did you know, or have you ever done work with Kawalani Moorhead?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Wow. He was a big martial artist.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask him. He's, big MMA guy.
He's what's he do? He's out west now.
He left. I mean, he grew up, I think, in the mountains of Hawaii.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, he's a small guy, but he's compact. I mean, he's tight,
Yeah.
He can't
I remember
wait
he was ripped the whole time.
Yeah.
He was a real last time I talked to him, he was really into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is
yes. Yeah. He actually teaches now. He's an instructor.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I talked to him about 2 years ago. He and his wife live in a yurt.
Cool.
Very cool.
So I know they had one kid at the time I talked to him. I think they might have two right now, but no, he was a great dude.
Oh man,
a great dude. Cal, everybody just called him Cal. Cal was a really great guy. Really great guy.
I actually met him at Georgia Bushcraft.
Really? So I met him at 5-6 years ago now at. Do you ever hear of Flintlock?
Yeah, absolutely.
They only
Yeah,
had 2 years. Yeah, so it was Matt Tate and Joel Graves with American Survival Company, and they partnered with Josh Enyart.
That's
Whenever
right.
he was under Flint and Steel Co. at the time.
During that group, there's all these fluctuations of different people who had like different group things during some times and stuff, and that's how we got to all know each other really well that way too. He's the second guy I know who lives out west in a yurt. I think Matt Graham.
Graham does.
Time of the year. Yeah, he's out in a yurt too, and
Mike Dixon. Yeah, Mike Dixon, the fit farmer, he's in a yurt right here in North Carolina. He's got a yurt.
Where are their North Carolina yurts?
Mike and Lacey Dixon, the fit farmer, they have a yurt, and they're supposed to be building another one in addition to the yurt. They're going to combine 2 yurts together.
Oh, it's a double yurt. He should do a yurt making class at one of your rendezvous place, man. That would be really cool.
I need to find somebody that will do that. A yurt,
and then you can make it your office.
I need the space
during Mountain Readiness. Yeah, you could have it for like all the
a Mountain Readiness. So not only do I set up 8 tents, I have to set up a yurt as well, right there in the center.
Oh no, the yurt could be permanent. That way
just put it up and leave it there.
Yeah.
So
make bed and breakfast it afterwards.
Perfect. Yeah, we can rent it out. Little yurts. Have little yurts all over that campground. That'd be perfect. So, Joe, how did you start your whole? I mean, where did you start at? Because you've got zoology. Did you plan on working at a zoo? What was your life vision? You've done all these things. You're as bad as I am, jack of all trades. You do this, you do that. I get bored really easy, so I do a whole lot of different things so I don't get bored. Transportation manager, MMA fighter, do events, knife maker, blah, same deal. But where did you start? Was there, what did the beginning hold for Joe?
Well, I tell this story a lot. I watch Crocodile Dundee way too much. You got a guy with a big knife, survival skills, and really was good with animals, and that really took on. So like in the suburbs of Charlotte, I was always bringing snakes home and stuff too, and doing all that, and started martial arts. Of course, bought all the ninja books as a kid. I probably had no idea what I was looking at and stuff at Barnes and Noble, and wanted to incorporate all of that. But also during that time at Barnes and Noble, I saw Tactical Knives magazine. And here's this really cool magazine with all this bad, tactical knife stuff. And I always looked at that when I was a kid too. Went to one of the NRA conventions and met the editor, Stephen Dick, and was completely blown away. I was a little kid at the time, like 14 or 15 or 12 something. And later on was always into knives, but always really into animals too, especially reptiles and amphibians. And to some degree, bugs and stuff. And so I went to school for zoology, where I studied mostly concentrated in reptiles and amphibians, but did some, mammal stuff and animal welfare here and, things along that line, but also got a minor in entomology. I was always into snakes and reptiles and always wanted to be a herpetologist, guys. But I had, martial arts as a love, a whole bunch of different hobbies, much like a lot of us, knives, knife making, Godzilla, of course, too. By the way, he just turned 70 yesterday.
Wow.
That's probably the most important thing happening this entire week. Not tomorrow, but the fact that Godzilla turned 70 yesterday. But my snake hunting friends were just, crazy about knives. Crazy about snakes. So they didn't, they really focused on that. I stayed with them and did a lot of snake research. They're all really good friends today, but I started having a love for entomology and insects, and it was much easier to find a job in the study of bugs and insects. And eventually I started hanging around the entomology department, taking classes. I got a minor in entomology, then started working for the Department of Entomology at North Carolina State. Go Wolfpack in beekeeping. So like 9 to 5, bees. I'm actually really,
Awesome.
really high. Well, I used to think I was really high grade level beekeeping, and fresh out of that job I was, but beekeeping has changed so much in the past few years and stuff that sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know this new treatment was legal in North Carolina, and stuff like that. So I'm always learning, but I actually have a really high level of beekeeping knowledge.
I need to pick your brain on that, because next spring, that is what I want. My next dive down the rabbit hole is bees.
Oh man,
I want to start a beehive. So
I don't know if I'm the perfect one to talk to about. I can help you and answer all the questions. Because it came from research, I was like managing over 150 hives, 100 hives.
Good grief.
We were doing genetic stuff. So we just like take the whole hive and throw it in the freezer and kill all the bees, and then have to dissect the brains and stuff. So it wasn't the best beekeeper, guys. And like there'd be nights where we like get like the bee alarm pheromone, and I'd have it in the vial, and I'd be able to throw it next to the beehive and get a whole bunch of pissed off bees right outside the beehive.
You were like the worst beekeeper ever.
Yeah. I had all this awesome science stuff, around to mess with them. But yeah, I can help you with the general beekeeping knowledge. The thing that and I'll be there to come through your hives and all that, especially with you. But every county in North Carolina and a lot of different states all have really good beekeeper associations now. And
yes,
if you're ever just getting into it, you can get real local information from the local people there. And that helps a lot more, because I'll go through like a whole hive and just take the whole thing and shake it and be all real. Like beekeepers will get mad at me with how deliberate I am with the bees. And I didn't realize it, but I'm horrible to them sometimes, because I'm always trying to, get through it fast. And now I kind of got soft. I used to be able to do it without hardly any beekeeping material. I hate using gloves, but now I actually do a net. If it's like 100 degrees out or something, I'll take it off and go real slow. But I'm definitely okay, I don't want to get hit in the face anymore.
See, the no glove thing, that's tough for me. I mean, I don't mind bees, but just putting my hands into them. Kaylee Richardson from the Honeystead, she just plays with them, barehanded, and I don't know. I'm not quite there yet, especially after this year. The ground hornets, I have been stung. I was stung every single week, multiple times for the entire year. And I'm like over being stung. Yeah. The immunity through the roof.
It's been a bad year for those.
It's been rough.
But now you probably smell less. During the year where, I still do it routinely. I know this isn't exactly medical, like perfect knowledge, but all the bee technicians would all talk. And it always seems like the times when they would have these variations and have an anaphylactic reaction was when they stayed away from bees for a long time. So I routinely sting myself at least once every few months or so, just to keep good. But back in the day, I could even get stung in the eye and I would barely swell after getting so many bee things all the time. But that's because I was into it, doing it like 9 to 5 every day. And
all day.
I lived at the bee lab too. So like, I was about to go into the Marines through their PLC program. But then NC State offered me free room, free board, free water, free internet, free all that stuff. I just had to live at this smelly old house that was also a bee lab.
With the bees. Fun. Yeah. So as many times I've been stung this year, I think it was like I lived with the bees. That's how many times I've been stung this year. Moving goats. I've been moving the goats around, and I'm whacking the weeds down and putting their fence up, and you just walk through the ground hornet nest, and the next thing you know, you're stung 15 times. And it was every week, every 3 to 4 days, boom, another nest.
You see, and I could take the bee stings, no problem. But if it was another type of Hymenoptera, I'm like, pulling back away from it. It's just like playing paintball. You get
Hymenoptera? Come on.
Ants, bees.
I know you got that one. I know
that's all like college level bee talk.
It's just ants, bees, wasps, hornets, bumblebees, social insects that sting. It means veined wing.
And there we go.
Joe, Jeremy Hale. Let me ask you real quick.
I have zero arthritis. I'm just going to throw that out there. Zero arthritis because of this these things I've got through this year.
Jeremy stung my friend's hand, arthritis. Joe, is this what actually spun you off into doing the bug hunt for the kids for Georgia Bushcraft? Given your education, your background.
Yeah, it is. That's one of the things I like. I like teaching that sometimes a lot more than adult classes because I get to refresh myself in basic, biological stuff that I forget about sometimes because I really like teaching it. And it works really well just to keep it kind of fresh. And I even learned stuff too, like that big old spider that was invasive down there, the Joro spider. That's kind of a new thing in 2009, 2010.
Yeah, because you
did not know that.
Class. And obviously Georgia Bushcraft T. I know you haven't been there yet. Joe's been there. How many years, Joe? Like 10.
Yeah.
I think this year, this coming weekend is going to be, I think, my 5th year there. And Joe does a massive bug hunt for the kids every year. And we've got
all sorts of stinging stuff.
Oh, yes. Like 20, 30 kids. I mean, you get a boatload of kids. It's a very family-friendly event.
And there's scorpions out there. And this time I have black lights, which I verified on my mobile thing. I can have the kids holding up the thing with huge, big black lights. So we're going to look for them at night as well.
Oh, wow.
Them at night.
Sweet.
But
we did one of those at Mountain Readiness past couple times. You've run around with them. The best pictures.
Really good back in Mountain Readiness. It's actually really good habitat for bugs.
Yes. And the best pictures ever is the bug hunt pictures, like these kids' faces. When you've sent me a couple, and I got to watch what I have to get approval from the parents before I post stuff like that. But you sent me a picture of the kids, and their face was just, they were in awe. I don't even know what bug you were holding up in their face, but it was hilarious. It was awesome to see how happy they were.
Yeah, and it's one thing too, you can find the kids like to notice stuff, a lot more. So we find like really cool stuff out there. And like I'll come back and show the adults, hey, check this out. We found this massive sassafras tree, and this is the benefits of it. It's not like Jack's level of knowledge on the trees.
When it comes to trees, Jax is the queen of the trees.
Yeah, she is.
So
hey, I got no bugs right now. I mean, I got no bees right now.
No bees.
Yeah, Bear took them out a couple months ago.
I hear they're up in your neck of the woods. That is a pretty common thing.
Yeah, I've got one. I've got lots of pews over here, and over here, and the okay from the that was for the bots that are probably
that algorithm stuff, AI.
But I got the okay from the wildlife officer to make some bear jerky this year. So
sweet.
I have plans.
Nice.
But it's also my fault, which is why I haven't been super crazy about trying to go after it. I didn't have a bear fence around my bees, and I should when I'm up here. Should so.
That's on my list. And actually, Premier One actually sells a bear fence, a bear rated fence. Did you know that?
Cool. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, wow. Premier One. They have one that'd just, I guess, knock you stupid. The goat fence. I will tell you right now that the goat fence out here that Premier One sells and their zapper, I decided I was going to give it a shot. And the chicken fence, it hurts. The goat fence, will straight up lay you out unconscious. I mean, it was stupid. I grabbed this thing.
So what are the volts?
I don't even remember what it is. But I can tell you that it was raining, and I decided, you're grounded out, you're wet. And when I hit this thing, it took my breath. I mean, it locked me up, and for about 5 seconds, I was trying to breathe in at that point. So, if that's a goat fence, if that's a goat fence, I'm gonna tell you that bear fence knock you stupid.
Now, here's the thing that's an anomaly too. That goes back to the question earlier in the show. Changes that I would have made after the storm. I want this one to be completely solar dependent. So if I'm even gone for the week and the power goes out, it's going to be okay, because in that the time when it was just, our house with the lights on, we had a loud generator that kept the bears away and all that stuff too. But I was just thinking, if it was out in nighttime and that generator wasn't on and all these lights are off like they are right now, that's like opening it up for them. So.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, the touch of human, the lights and the noise when it goes away. You're right. That's a good point. Didn't even think about that.
I think the noise finally at the end there has kind of messed up my hunting for deer right around my house too, because of the generators that they've had all around there. I don't see as many right now, but I think that's just because it's getting ready for the rut too.
So let's see here. 4,000 to 5,000 V some species, 10 to test fences. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. I tell you right now, Pete, that goat fence ain't no joke, dog. That thing knocked me plumb stupid. He said Google Master. That's it. Google quick on the Google. Quick those fingers. So here's something here, Joe. We all love knives. Before I mention this though, is am I the only one that really misses the magazine rack when we were kids though? Like you were talking about, dude. Soldier of Fortune magazine, Black Belt.
Black Belt.
Yeah. Black Belt, Soldier of Fortune. What's some other ones? There was a ton. I would sit there. Mom would shop. And I would just sit there and read the magazines on the rack, the whole time while she shopped.
I was thinking about that today. Some of the catalogs that I missed, like U.S. Cavalry that I used to get in the mail and like Edge, the Edge company.
Oh, yeah. Edge.
It's like really weird, like just off-brand catalogs that would just come in the
SWAT.
mail. SWAT.
Chuck, SWAT. Man, forgot about SWAT.
Right for SWAT magazine. I actually had a article in SWAT way back in the day.
Did you?
Yeah.
Sweet.
But I remember those original magazines. Like I've written for 10 magazines. I could talk about that forever, but I just want to talk about all the cool ads at the back of Soldier of Fortune. And
Soldier of Fortune was the best.
You remember some of that stuff? Your own military ninja balaclava for like $10.
Yeah.
I loved that when I was a kid.
It was full of throwing
right?
star stuff.
Oh yeah.
They have a book series now.
Really?
Soldier of Fortune does?
Yeah. I've got a few of them upstairs in my library. Yeah.
Oh man.
Huh. I might have to check those out.
All these guys had like pen names on there about all of their different, Vietnam activities and stuff too.
One of the best shows too at this time. I'll be 47 this December, but I remember as a kid, these magazines and the show Tour of Duty was on.
Oh, dude, I love.
Oh man, Tour of Duty was awesome. Tour of Duty
after my time. But my dad was in Vietnam. He was in what they call now, I guess recon was back before him, was called Special Forces and Marines or something. Where he was a cap officer, so they go back behind enemy lines and teach a lot of the villagers there. And that was really cool. I had this appreciation for Vietnam really a lot. And I started watching Tour of Duty. I think I have that on VHS where I recorded.
Yeah, did you? Evidently, Pete snuck behind the counter. Yeah, you were going behind the counter, Pete. We weren't allowed back there. I don't know what you're talking about.
Crazy heathens.
Heathens. So, knife designing, of course. Well, all three of us are huge with knives.
The knife stuff actually came from magazines for me, but most of the magazines that I wrote for aren't around anymore. They're all print magazines that went gone. Survival Quarterly was one that I wrote for. SWAT magazine, Tactical Knives, Self-Reliance Illustrated. I think even Backpacker is not around anymore. I wrote for them. All of these companies. I mean, Blade's the only magazine left that really is teaching that stuff. But I got one right here. This magazine, which is really cool, Bushcraft magazine, is about to be in circulation in the United States now.
Is that mainly the UK, Joe?
Yeah, it's a UK magazine, but now you're going to see a little bit more North North American presence in there. I've got an article coming out in one.
That's got to be pushed in the UK by Ray Mears. Is it?
Yeah. Well, it's not just by Ray Mears. He showed up at the show, but
but he's a big pusher of it, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, because Ray Mears is one of the originators of that like big bushcraft movement that we're all make part of today. His show, and so he comes to the Bushcraft show that's in the UK, which I'm actually going to go to for the first time next year. I don't know.
No kidding.
Here, but I'm going to do some traveling this year.
I'm going to give you a book.
Sure.
Have him sign the book for me, bud.
Oh, I believe Jax is going to be there as well, isn't she?
Yeah.
National travel. She was
a good one. So yeah, come on down. You guys will have a fun time there.
Right.
It's across the pond.
Yeah. So we could say with what's his name? Brian over there, UK area. He's always wanting us to come over. Or no, he's Sweden.
No, he's in Scandinavia.
Yeah, my bad. Different end. So 150 knives. 150 knives designed by yours truly. How do you do that many designs? I struggle as a knife maker because it's all been done, it seems like. So trying to weed through.
Yeah, I used to be like really modest about this, but then I realized I'm a freak show when it comes to designing these things too. I way over 150 now. I design for like 7 or 8 different companies now and all that, but it's also it's really inspiring to try and think of a different way to do a tool and to try and work with the company and see some of the great benefits that this company has and try and do something with their flavor. Like Condor Tool Knife, they're the primary company I design for. They don't have a lot of super steels out there. They work with a lot of 1075 and high carbon steels that are great for toughness, but every once in a while I might want to try and work with a company where I can dive into the water and not worry about a whole bunch of snotty looking rust all over my blade. And that might be something in Nitro V, like I did with the company from Taiwan and stuff.
Right.
So working that way.
Can I intervene here real quick?
Sure.
Yes.
So the first time I met Joe Flowers, Joe was about 4 years ago. I don't know if you recall this, but I remember it vividly.
It was over at in Ohio, right? Or is it Kentucky?
No, it was Kentucky. It was at Campcraft, Jason Hunt's place.
Yeah.
Listen, anybody watching and listening right now, Jason Hunt, he has of Campcraft Outdoors. He has the best, absolutely hands down, the best wax canvas gear you can get on the market. I mean, that stuff will actually last a lifetime. I'm not kidding you, a lifetime.
I was just looking around today. I have this like completely torn up wax can. It's not torn up. It should be, but it has really, really dirty like carabiners and stuff for my 4-wheeler in it, for my Jeep in it, like the shackles. And it just doesn't care about how gnarly it gets. It's holding it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, this stuff will hold up against anything. So
Campcraft.
I was there 4 years ago, and I had my booze there. I had I don't know, 10 by 20 maybe, and I didn't know who Joe was, and I had a bunch of knives, a bunch of packs and ferro rods, and everything else set out, and up comes wandering Joe Flowers, and he says, "Oh, you have the Condor stuff." And I said, "Yeah, so a lot of that stuff." "Oh, you have the pterosaur." "Yeah, it's one of my favorite knives." And he said, "If you need help selling this, you let me know." I said, "Are you a rep?" And he said, "No, I designed the knife." I said, "What?" "Yeah, I designed the knife." So that's how Joe and I first met, and I mean, he was selling them like freaking crazy. And Joe, I don't know if you remember this or not, but there was a little, I think it was about 8 or 9 years old at the time, a little kid there, and it was his first event for doing outdoor stuff, bushcraft or survival, and we had him going with a pterosaur knife, and we hooked him up with the pterosaur, and we hooked him up with a Blackbeard fire stick.
Oh yeah.
And so he got a Kanan was his name, little Kanan. And Kanan actually got, with like 2 sparks, he got one right off the pterosaur knife, and he got hooked up with the Blackbeard. They got something like 360,000 views with Blackbeard. So like, send us this stuff. This kid was
nice.
He felt like he was a big time celebrity. I mean, it was great. It was really great.
I was just worried that he was going to set your dog on fire afterwards.
Little Pumbaa. Yeah, it's my little black pug. She was wandering around and she was just
so cute. How is she?
Oh, she passed away about a year and a half ago.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so she's a pug. She was 11. Mm-hmm. Diabetes. Yeah, that's dogs for you. So don't even ask about my current dog because don't
ask about the current dog. Just keep it on
we don't have enough time. We don't have enough time. Speaking of time,
yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The pterosaur. This is what I'm talking about, people. The pterosaur right here. So this is obviously the army green version of it. They have it in army green, in black, in deserts, coyote tan, whatever you want to call it, and in orange. Is that correct, Joe?
Yep. And if you want it in 14C, 28N, which is a stainless steel, and a blue handle, that is called the Lapotes, and you can order that from him as well, too. The pterosaur came out in 2009 as originally a custom knife, and they wanted Condor wanted some knife that I really could trust in my hand. I can go on my side that didn't break the bank. And we've just beat the snot out of it. I've got $300 knives, and one of my most used knives is a pterosaur.
Yeah, and a lot of people
have on my table right now, but they're all packed up in my bag to go to Georgia Bushcraft.
Fully, I'll be seeing you there in a couple of days. Are you going to the summit?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, we'll be there.
I'm leaving tomorrow. After I'm done with you guys, I'm probably going to stay up all night and do all that late night packing. I should make that like a live thing after this.
Yeah.
Guys, we're going to have the after party on it.
I packed all day today. I'll be doing the same thing. Early tomorrow morning, I'm going to go vote, and then I'm going to pack up the rest of my gear and go.
I took care of that yesterday. You mean voted for Godzilla's 70th birthday being the best?
70th birthday.
Yeah.
No, I was voting for Grover.
70.
I was voting for Grover from Sesame Street. I'd rather go with Grover. I said I was voting for Grover from Sesame Street.
Grover, the other G.
Well, Grover for president.
The other G.
Grover.
Now you tricked.
Real quick.
You tricked it out, didn't you? Yeah.
I did.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I took yours, and I do this to any, basically any pterosaur because it fits perfectly around the pterosaur.
Modified like crazy. That's
I had a whole bunch of just random stuff laying around the shop. I'm like, what am I going to do with all this stuff? So I'm like, okay, well, let's build a little I call it the MKK, the minimalist knife kit.
Yeah.
Because I've been caught out a couple of times, once in the Ozarks and once in the Wachitas, very, very close to one another. And I got caught out one time in each of them with massive rainstorm just came on like that.
Yeah.
If anybody's listening, if you're in the Wachitas, if you're in the Ozarks, you understand that it comes on no time. So basically, when you have a knife on your hip, you want to have a few amenities on there. So I took a few, trinkets around the shop and I put them on with some Ranger bands. I put them on the pterosaur knife. So basically, you have a set of medium-sized Ranger bands right here. You have a fishing kit, emergency fishing kit. You have a knife sharpener right here. Right here is a piece of fat wood. If you're really in a predicament and you don't have any dry tinder, fat wood will always light in any conditions. Correct, Joe?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Ferro rod right here. Little mini glow stick, little mini glow bead right here. Should you happen to drop, this is connected to your knife sharpener. If you happen to drop your sharpener, you can find it very easily in the nighttime. Underneath here, you're going to find, this is from Wazoo Survival Gear. The Wazoo guys are great. We're going to be hanging out with them this weekend over at Georgia Bushcraft. This is a water filtration system. It's got, there you go. I'm actually wearing it right now. I'm actually wearing the belt right now.
Awesome.
The cash belts are phenomenal, right?
Yeah, we got to dive it all out. What he's talking about. Keep going with it because I got one here to pull out. There we go. Is it that one?
Oh, you got the big one. Well, I actually have the big one on my personal knife, but it hangs down. It's like it hangs down really low. So
yeah,
what works with this knife is kind of their minimalist kit, their minimalist water filtration kit. It's great.
Minimalist versus the other one. Okay, because I saw both of them there, and I was wondering.
Yeah, so I wear that on my hip regularly. I mean, you'll see me this weekend wearing that on my hip with I have a desert tan one. I don't have the army green, but I have the desert tan. So you get
my wife stole my gray one, and so like at Georgia Bushcraft, I can't wear the gray one because she's going to be using it.
Who's going to be using it?
My wife.
Oh well, yeah, you can't have that. You can't match. Absolutely not.
No, that's not okay.
She always she likes the gray color or something. But yeah, dude, what's your sharpener? Who makes your sharpener?
It's a really basic one. I mean, I just had some of these sharpeners come into the shop here, and I had a few odds and ends, and I was actually
function as your ferro rod strike. Do you have was that a magnesium bar that I saw in the back? No, that was the water kit.
No, that's a ferro rod. We have a ferro rod, not magnesium. I will not do magnesium. Listen, magnesium is great. It is, but I love the ferro rod.
Yeah.
The ferro.
And you can use the knife sharpener. Have you used that as the striker yet? Can you?
I have not tried it. I'm sure you can.
Okay.
Should we try it right now?
Back knife too. Yeah, why not?
Go ahead.
I mean, all right,
see if that thing. Let's end this. Let's end this show with a house fire.
Let's end on a good note. Huh?
Right, let's end this with a house fire, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Speaking of house fire, I got one of these cheap like circle lights to try out on the camera, and it's been flickering out and like doing different colors. I hope it has an effect.
Mine's in front of me right now.
Now, I probably need one. I'm always washed out on here. It seems like I tell everybody I look like.
Recommend the one I got because it's like
stay away from that one.
Change it back to the other color.
Let me move the fat wood away from the striking.
Yeah. Please remove all the gasoline and.
Let's see.
I should have a fire.
And here we go, guys.
Okay, let's
get insurance claim in the making.
Let's get some of this carbon off of here. It's a brand new ferro rod.
Okay. We have
that
coating on the top.
Oh,
yeah, we all
definitely get it.
Oh yeah.
Hang on. Let's get some more off there.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that looked good.
We got a little bit. We got a little bit, but again, this is just your sharpener. Now,
right.
I'm sorry, Lex. I'm sorry, Alexis.
If you're going to take the knife itself, this Condor pterosaur has a very sharp 90-degree spine. So, no problem whatsoever.
Look at that. Oh, man, that thing's...
You always have to get the angle right for the camera, and then all of a sudden...
Boom!
Exactly. Well, you guys can see it flashing. There you go.
The roof is on fire.
Now,
we'll stop right there. Let's stop right there.
Far more impressive.
I just cleaned in there, Lex says.
I've been having I can only see the side chat things every once in a while.
If you look over to your right there, click on the comments right there. You can see all of them. Yeah, man.
All right, so I've been playing the actual YouTube in the background. This is so much easier. Not to burn your house down. You know how many kids I have showed how to play with matches? Tons.
And machetes, from what I hear.
Yeah, absolutely.
So speaking of the private chat, hey Russ Sawyer, no, that is not the one you bought for me. You actually bought a Mora knife for me. Mora Kniv.
Those are great ones too, though.
Yeah, you bought. Russ bought the Bushcraft Black for me back in May at Mountain Readiness.
And if you guys would like to burn your own living room down, you may contact Brian right there at www.survivalgear.us. And if I'm not correct, am I correct here? That's you right there, correct? Is that you, Joe?
We're at I'm not bushcraftglobal.com.
Yes.
I normally have my main stuff on Instagram. I have to update my site now, but we are going in June to South America, Brazil, Colombia, and Peru. We are actually working with another English expedition company, Hal Outdoors, for collaboration this year. We just had an awesome collaboration with Matt Graham down in the jungle. And that was really, really fun. We got to
I saw pictures of that all over social media.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
I need to start posting a lot more videos and stuff. The problem is we have so much content. I just need to like hire somebody to go through all of those years of content.
Joe Tedai is a big fan of Matt Graham.
Those guys had a great time together on Dual Survival too.
Yeah. And Joe's a good friend of ours.
Stuff.
He's done a lot of stuff with you. I saw him this year at Mountain Readiness as well.
Yep. He was there.
No, in the fall.
Yeah, it was this fall. Because you stopped out for you were able to stop out for about a half a day. You were busy running all over the place.
Yeah. You were, man.
I should have been in El Salvador at that time, but I got it pushed back just a little bit. And wife was like, "Nope, you're doing the Girl Scout thing with me." All right, sometimes that's important.
Hey, so there you got that's important stuff. Well, guys, we are at the top of the hour. Brian, lead us out here, man. You guys are getting packed up for Georgia Bushcraft coming up right around the bend.
We are. We're getting packed up for Georgia Bushcraft. I did about 95% of it earlier today. I'll do the other 5% tomorrow morning. We're going to go vote. Let's not talk about that. As I said, I'm voting for Grover.
That's for a next week's show.
I'm going to vote for Grover from Sesame Street. So Georgia Bushcraft, T, I know you haven't been there yet. It's a phenomenal
I got to
event.
get down there.
You really do. Joe and I, we go pretty much every year. Great time. Last year we didn't vend. It was our first year not vending. Alexis and I just kind of hung out to some great classes. I mean, it was a great time. But this year we're going to vend. They get about what, Joe? 1,200 people? About every year.
He wants to cap it at 2,000 this year. But I don't know if he gets lucky to get that, and that's great. But
he has about 150 classes. 150 classes going on a 3-day period. A phenomenal time. It's in Watkinsville, Georgia, 2 hours directly east of Atlanta. If you guys get the time, roll down there. That's probably the number one in the country. I think this year is number 12, number 13. And T, you're not far behind, man. I think you're going on to maybe your third year, and I think you're actually gonna go head to head with Georgia.
Well, and I tell you that I think we're in different categories. Like when it comes to bushcraft, it's Georgia Bushcraft. We veer into those other aspects, that homesteading, tactical side of things that I don't know if Georgia Bushcraft is not really geared towards that. We're kind of into anything and everything.
I'll tell you what's up. I think you guys have some AR classes.
Yeah.
You probably won't see that at Georgia Bushcraft. So
probably ain't gonna see it.
AR.
No, you're not going to see any pew classes.
Right. Oh yeah. Oh crap. Those things. Yes. So I'm just gonna bring my newly Legoed out pew
that freedom seed slinger. Bring that freedom seed slinger to Mountain Readiness. We'll get you hooked up with the Carl Erickson and Tactical Rifleman Black Armor Group. All those awesome dudes.
Mountain Readiness does everything. You guys do everything. Yeah.
I have a new deep eater this year. I want to learn camo at Mountain Readiness of how to camo my own deep eater.
You know what? Your freedom seed slinger. I got just the guy for you. I'm going to hook you up with my good friend Byron Russell of Black Armor Guns. Okay. Who can give you a little love on that? He does some great stuff too. That's the rifle that I'm running. So, yes, absolutely. But where can everybody find you? Where can everybody find you at, Joe, for all your media?
Joe Flowers Bushcraft Global on Instagram. You can find me on YouTube under Bushcraft Global. If you just Google Bushcraft Global, you can find stuff too. Literally, guys, if you just Google Joe Flowers knife, you can find a whole bunch of stuff out there. from all the companies and see some of the classes and things that I've done in the past. If you guys got Discovery Channel, yay, you can see me on Discovery Channel. Woohoo.
On Discovery.
It's kind of a hilarious thing. It's only 6 episodes long. It's called Expedition from Hell. It's a story about how I started in the Amazon jungle. Or it's a story about how this guy went from South America, from one side of South America all the way to the other. And I take one part in that towards the very end. And that's how I got started working in the jungles where I'm at now. So you can check that out, Expedition from Hell. And mountainreadiness.com.
Yes.
Or is it .org? Or is it?
Mountainreadiness.com. We're .com.
Yes, you can see some of the upcoming classes I will be teaching at Mountain Readiness coming up in the
Mountain
fall.
Readiness coming up, Lord willing.
Too. Yeah.
Yes. And really we need to talk too about Matt Graham. We've talked a little bit about this.
Oh, sure.
We need to readdress that about for next year.
Yeah.
So, that would be pretty awesome to see. But all right, folks, that's a wrap. Joe, appreciate you being on here, brother.
Thanks, guys.
And on short notice as well, man. Great talking to you. We need to do it again.
Yeah, for sure. I normally fill like 2 podcasts. So if you guys need another filler at some point, I never shut up. Go for it.
Hey, this is a great podcast. I think this went super well. Everybody got along good. We talked about all kinds of awesome stuff.
Yeah. I thought fine. So
and I'm going to make it down.
Before we hang up here, let me just tell y'all.
Yeah.
If you guys ever get into the Gatlinburg area in Tennessee, was it Sevierville?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sevierville.
Largest knife store in the world. Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Woo-hoo. I've been in there a number of times, and every time I go in there, I always have to visit, of course, the Condor section. And I feel like a celebrity when I say, listen, I know Joe Flowers, right? He's a buddy of mine.
I know this guy.
He designs like 100% of this shit. I know Joe. We're buddies. Do you want to see it on my cell phone? Here's my cell phone. I have his number. But it's awesome to actually stop by and see what you do, Joe. It really is.
Yeah, well, Smoky Mountain's a great place no matter where you want to stop. They got tons of readiness supplies there too that you can see in hand. But also check out all these places in the huge community that we live in, guys.
Absolutely. Awesome, guys. Be safe on your travels. And I'm gonna put it on the 2025. I will be there rolling down to Georgia Bushcraft with you guys. I'm gonna check this place out for myself. We're gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So you know the drill, guys. If you're gonna move with purpose. We will see you next Monday. Stay